Hey everyone, thanks for checking out Indoor Recess. Today we are previewing a new chapter in the Raptors' title defense as they take on the Brooklyn Nets in round one of the NBA playoffs. And today Doug Smith is here to tee up the series. Doug, how are things going?
Wow, there's nothing like an August playoff series, I say.
It's definitely a strange time, and I'm sure
Yes.
you never thought you'd be covering basketball this late into the summer, at least the playoffs. Um,
No, not at any level ever, no.
I read recently in your blog, you mused that NBA players might be going a bit crazy in the bubble, and for good reason. I'm paraphrasing a bit here, I think, but you wrote something like, "You can only play so much cornhole."
Yeah,
So
they play cornhole and they fish, so it's not a lot of stuff going on.
I'm wondering how you think you would handle the bubble life.
Oh, I'd go crazy.
Yeah.
I'd go stir crazy. I would have to bring my favorite bar stool, my Netflix password, and I don't even know what the third thing would be, to tell you the truth, because it's I couldn't imagine living for 7 weeks in the same hotel.
I've been watching some of the players' YouTube series, and it's been fun inside look. I think that I would go a little crazy as well. So I guess it's warranted that we're starting to see headbutts and some kookiness on the court.
Yeah, there's got to be, but minds have to be getting frayed. Like
Yeah.
that's all there is. You see the same people who do the same thing. It's like Groundhog Day, only you're sort of stuck in this bubble of Disney where there's not a lot of stuff to do. And yeah, there's. I always thought the mental aspect was going to be. I think the team that wins will be the team that's able to keep its head together for long enough.
So let's talk Raptors. I want to get into their depth a little bit. Do you think watching the bubble over the last little bit, watching their play, do you think Terence Davis's role has changed, and where does he fit into the rotation going into round one?
Well, this is for the old heads, but I think he's being Wally pipped by Matt Thomas. I think he's a rookie. He's Terrence Davis, is a rookie. He's trying to learn how to play in the NBA, at the level of intensity and the consistency you need. And I think as the eighth guy right now, Matt Thomas has probably moved ahead of him just in these last 8 games.
Wow. And obviously, the Raptors' depth has been one of their strengths over the last few years, and this year's no different. Rotations usually shrink, though, once playoffs come. So who do you think has the best shot at sticking as the eighth man between Rondé, Boucher, Thomas, and Davis?
I think Rondé will probably get the first run there, first look there, because he's a little bit more versatile than the other guys. He defends a little bit better. He can play multiple positions. He doesn't need plays called for him or shots created for him. I think Thomas is probably the number 9 guy right now, but on nights when they need rebounding and shot blocking, it would be Boucher. I think that's the glory of these Raptor depth, is that it's got a lot of different things it can do. It can shoot with Thomas. It can provide energy with Boucher. Davis is a great athlete, no question about it. And Hollis Jefferson just plays hard. I think after those first 7 guys, Nick Nurse has a lot of options on what he needs each night or each series in that 8, 9, 10 position.
Awesome. So let's look at the matchup against the Nets. Obviously, they're missing a ton of players, and this will look probably like an even scarier team next year. Who are the players, though, to watch that are in the lineup that might cause the Raptors a little bit of trouble?
Well, I think Joe Harris can make 7 or 8 3-pointers every game. I think you got to worry about that a lot. I like Karis LeVert. I think they play hard all the time, so you're not going to be able to coast at any point in any games. But really, they don't have the depth or the backcourt abilities that the Raptors have. It shouldn't be that difficult a series, but they got a shooter's chance because they take a lot of threes, and if they make a lot of threes, they might win a game.
Right. And so, on that note, what are the keys for the Raptors to make sure that this isn't a long, drawn out series and that they get the job done relatively quickly?
I think they got to defend and get out in transition and get easy baskets. I think the Raptor half-court offense is still very much a work in progress. I think they got to play fast and get up early, quick, good shots. And I think they got to guard the three-point line. I don't think you're really worried about being posted up very much by the Nets, but they got to get out on shooters. And that's not ever been a huge strong point of the Raptor team, but I think they swarm enough defenses and they move around quickly enough that they can do it. But taking the three-point ball away from the Nets is a huge key.
Now, going into the playoffs, expectations are probably pretty high for good reason, as they're the defending champs. But you wrote in a blog recently, this is the quote, you said, "Don't be spoiled, enjoy it for what it is. It beats the alternative." Can you expand on that a little bit, what you were talking about?
Well, this is now 5 years in a row they've won 50 games. 7 years in a row they're going to the playoffs. I think they've only won one championship. I really, and I'm old and grumpy, but I get sick and tired of people saying, well, they don't win at all. Only one team ever wins it all. And you got to appreciate the journey. And the journey for the Raptors over these last 7 years has been phenomenal. They just win. And maybe they don't win the last game every year, but a guy like LeBron James has something to say about that. Other things have to be taken into consideration. Luck. Heck, if Kawhi's 4-bouncer doesn't go 4 bounces and in and goes 5 bounces and out, who knows what happens, right? I think you need to enjoy the whole journey, and that's the regular season. It's the 5 seasons of 50 wins, and not get so wrapped up in they failed if they don't win the championship. I really think people miss the point if that's all they focus on.
Do you think that fans need to be reminded of what expectations were coming into the season, and that some even, well-known analysts predicted that they'd miss the playoffs, and here they are setting, their best franchise mark?
Yeah, I think fans, I think now that they've seen them play during the season, they expect them to win the East and play for the championship again. And so do I, because I think they're the best team in the Eastern Conference. But that's somewhat neither here nor there. I think fans are at the start of the year, if you'd said, hey, they're going to win 53 of 73 games and be the number 2 seed in the East and maybe the number 2 team in the NBA, people would have taken that and been pretty darn happy. And I hope that those expectations don't ruin it if they should happen to lose in the second round this year, because they've had a pretty darn good year.
Do you think that the road to the finals would be a little bit more difficult this year now that we've seen teams like Indiana and Miami kind of take the next step?
I always think the second round is going to be hugely tough, whether it's Boston or Miami or Boston or Philadelphia. Whoever comes out of that 3-6 matchup is going to be a very tough matchup. I think Milwaukee will be there waiting at the conference finals because I think they can get Miami. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff can happen, and I don't think it's going to be an easy route. But I do think the Raptors have as good a chance as anybody as winning the East again.
And just before we wrap up, are there any other big matchups or teams you're watching even out west? Like, how do you think the LA showdown will go down?
I think the Lakers are probably going to win the West, but I think the Clippers are right there with them. I can't wait to watch Houston, Oklahoma City, just for all the subplots. That's going to be crazy.
For sure.
Oklahoma City play those 3 guards. You got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who you love to watch play. The Houston is this weird hybrid of nobody taller than 6'7". They might be bigger than Oklahoma City if the Thunder play the 3 guards. That's the first round matchup that I'm fascinated by, and I don't know who's going to win, but I think it's going to be really compelling basketball all the way through.
Cool. Well, that seems like a great place to leave off, as the playoffs will be beginning today. So to follow Doug's coverage throughout these playoffs and for his thoughtful thoughts on basketball, follow him on Twitter @SmithRaps and visit thestar.com/Raptors to read his work along with the work from our outstanding team of reporters and columnists. Recess is over, so we'll see you next time.
All right, back to school. Thanks, Braydon.
Thank you.